niggers!
Welcome to NPC.
Hey there, cultists.
Yo, what it do? It's your big boy cult leader, Big Juicy J, nigga dick. Titty toucher 10,000.
Our nigs in the hood, in the hizzy with the snizzy and the make you drizzy, and I'm gonna drizzle you and cum, alright?
Shout out to all the nigglets out there.
All the hot snow bunnies.
You know,
where you at?
after the conversation about, like, how times have changed, I guess, you know, I've also realized a lot, like, maybe it's just the area I used to live in, but, like, I noticed that, like, we're more, I guess it goes without saying, once we learn more, we start becoming more aware of, like, spreading of, like, germs and stuff, and we stop, like, but, like, basically what I was getting at is, like, I remember there was a time where we didn't care about, like, food contamination and shit. Dirt. Well, no, I'm talking about, like, as I was a kid, because back where I lived in Arlington, I went to public school, and, like, there was this thing called the share table, which was basically, if you didn't want anything on your lunch tray, you could just set it on the share table.
Oh, God.
What?
But
that
like,
sounds awesome. I wouldn't have given a shit.
It was a great idea, because, like, it meant that kids who couldn't afford lunch, which, by the way, wasn't that big a problem, because, like, I don't know, maybe the school system where I was just more chill, because we lived in, like, a less rich area, that, like, some of the kids, if you didn't have lunch money, you would just walk in, and they would be like, alright, fine, here's lunch. Like, that's, like, such a weird idea to kids in this area, but, like, and lunch was a lot cheaper there.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
dude. Now it costs like actual money.
It costs like $3.
Yeah, when I went to Robinson, it was like this costs like comparable to an actual meal. Like what the fuck?
But no, but like I remember, I had a flashback because I was eating those weird microwave chimichangas, and it reminded me of the burritos because like I don't know why, but kids just didn't like the burritos that we got in school lunch. They were the cheap burritos, but they were still good. Like it still had meat, beans, rice. And, like, it was my favorite thing on the menu. So I would always go to the share table whenever there was... Because I knew a bunch of kids wouldn't be eating them.
Yeah.
And it was great because, like, it basically meant that you weren't wasting food. And I understand why, like, other areas don't have it. Because, like, any kid could, like, spit on the food or, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
But no one did that. It was, like, a kind of honor system. And I guess lunch people would be watching the food the kids put up there. Or that...
Like, why the fuck would I want to do that? Why the fuck would I want to spit in this food? Because I would want somebody to spit in my food.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And, like, I don't know. Maybe it was just a different area so people cared more. Like, I noticed moving... Like, I didn't know that racism was a thing until I moved. Like, I wasn't aware that race... I didn't know that I was black, basically.
Oh, wow.
Like, I understood that I looked different from, like... Yeah. I understood kids look different, but I didn't know it was, like, a thing until I moved out here. Because, like, where I live, it was such a melting pot, and, like, no one gave a shit.
Exactly, yeah. Well, same thing where I grew up. There was, like, Asian kids, Indian kids, black kids, white kids, Hispanic kids. And
yeah,
just like...
Alright,
we all look a little different.
Race, like, even the white people there was, like, no idea of racism. It was, like, this weird... There wasn't classism or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were some rich people there, but you didn't know they were rich because everyone kind of lived in, like, the same kind of housing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a very... Maybe I just didn't notice because I was a kid. That's also an equally plausible thing.
We don't know the situation with
But,
kids.
like,
I think racism is more of a learned thing than a...
Yeah. It's an adult concept.
I don't know. But, like, well, I mean, I did come across racism there. I mean, I've told the story before of, like, there was this kid who followed me around calling me the N-word. And, like, I knew it was a racist term. But, like...
bother you.
Yeah,
but
it never
like, why are you calling me this?
But I also knew that I didn't want him calling me it. So what I did was I walked next to the older black kids who were playing football.
So he wouldn't have the balls.
So he said it. No, he said it.
Oh, and they kicked his ass?
And they kicked his ass. And then the counselor came over, who was also black, and was just like,
started beating him up too.
What are you doing? And he's just like, what was his name? Skylar was calling James a nigger. And then basically the counselor just kind of turned around like he didn't see what was happening. They punched him a little more, then he intervened. Wow. It was just like, yeah, hey, stop.
Brutal.
Well, it was funny. I also remember that kid having a weird dad. He moaned while he was pissing. That was strange to me. I don't know why I remember that.
Somebody moans while they piss. They got...
But, like...
There's something wrong there.
But, like, I loved the idea of the shared lunch table. And I remember that was so weird when I moved that they didn't have that. To me, it was just like, well, what about the kids who can't get lunch? Or like, I do remember one thing that I would do is I wasn't always like hungry for a full lunch. So
Right.
like occasionally I would just pocket the money that my parents gave me for lunch, which wasn't a big deal because like
No, I
back
used to do
then
that
it was
too,
like
yeah.
120,
Yeah, it was like
$1.50.
$1 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like when I moved where it was like immediate. As soon as I moved, it's $2.50, and it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like there used to be a point where I could buy lunch every day.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
once we moved, I had to start bringing it. But like,
I have to remember how
I
to
was
get
also
up
the
there.
only kid in my family going to school at the time, so.
Right.
You know, in a family of 5 kids, it makes sense after a while that we had to start bringing lunch. But like I could just go to the share table and get like a snack, like maybe an ice cream pop or like a burrito or something, or like basically
The other guy fell.
basically it didn't make sense to me why there wasn't a share
Yeah.
table until I got old enough to realize, oh, it's because they're afraid of like the spreading of shit.
It's like
And
when
it's-
customers ask me, they're like, can you not mix the two meats? I'm like, it's chicken and beef. You're gonna be okay, lady.
Yeah, you're cooking.
You're
them.
gonna be okay. Exactly, yeah. You're gonna be cooking these things at very high temperatures. I'm pretty sure it's gonna kill anything that's really going to affect you, okay?
You know, the one thing I hate is when, like, have you ever been left with, like, eggs and bread? So, like, you put the eggs down and then you put the bread on top?
Yeah.
There are certain customers who will be like, excuse me, did you learn how to bag? And it's just like,
Excuse me, do you learn how to be not a fucking retard?
it's like, ma'am, I hope you know, like, what are you expecting to happen to the bread? Like, if your eggs break in the packaging, you've got a whole nother problem.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. It was just
Or you're gonna squish the bread. It's like, I put it in its own
I
bag.
put it on top.
Could you? Yeah, I put it on top. Can you chill the fuck out?
I don't know. It was just kind of a thought I had, like the whole how I guess times have changed. Like, I wonder if we're gonna become more. Like, I wonder if everyone's going to be OCD in the future. Like,
Everything's gonna be
I
so.
also understand
Everything's
it's-
gonna be like really cushy and like safe, and it's like, oh, we don't want to offend anybody. But it's like when I was a kid, dude, the best times that I've had is like times where I have possibly or have gotten hurt or like, you know, scratched, bruised,
well, because
beaten,
it was like
shit
half
like
of
that.
it was the thrill, and part of it was just because it was fun.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't think
What's up,
fun.
dude?
I think fun's going to change, but I don't think that necessarily means that there's not going to be people having fun. I can accept that, like, the people in the future might have a different idea of fun. I mean, fun changes over time.
I'm not saying
involves
that. I
people.
just like I think that we definitely grew up tougher than because it's like my parents didn't intervene that much. If somebody punched me at school,
I was told to defend myself.
exactly. I was told to defend
Well,
myself
now-
or I was told to suck it up.
Well, like, I feel
Or
like
walk away.
it's the difference of, like, something bad happens to us, it's just, like, kind of like, oh, that guy's an asshole. Well, now as you're taught something bad happens to you, the world's at fault.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. It's kind of like we've encouraged a victim mentality, and I understand it. It's so that it's to, like, encourage that there are less assholes, but there are some points where it's just like, all right, you need to...
This guy's just being a dick.
Yeah,
all right?
there are some points where you gotta accept that it's just like that one person.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like one of our biggest problems is overgeneralization. Like, one person does something to us, and suddenly it's just like, man, every person like that is like that, and it's just like, it's weird
it's the
because
one
it also
douchebag.
works in the
Yeah.
reverse, where it's just like you hate when people overgeneralize, so you're gonna overgeneralize back. I don't
Exactly.
quite
It's just
understand
a
how that
circle of
works.
dumb bullshit.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get too much into that.
I'm
I
gonna
don't.
interrupt real quick, and since we talked to that guy, we can learn more fire stuff.
Oh, cool. Can I
Fuck the
finally
fire,
blow
nigga.
up? Can I be Roy Mustang finally? Can I blow the shit out of people? Oh, I didn't mean. I don't want to blow people. I just want to blow people.
You
up.
want to blow the shit out of them? Like you want to suck their dick
I
so
wanna
hard
suck
they
their-
just shit
I
themselves?
want them to come so hard that it blows out of their asshole. They blow out of the front and the back, dude.
You just come out their butthole.
You ever come so hard you just start farting, dude?
No, have you?
No. But I love hearing stories online like that. Oh god. It was like the biggest joke for a while, like on 4chan they were to describe how hard they came. They would be like, I came and started farting.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I feel like that wouldn't even
fuck the girl really hard, then they like start walking around, they start queefing, and it's like, oh, gross.
I've never had a girl walk around and start queefing, but
No, they just
I-
like
I've had
they
happen-
start moving around. It's like,
oh,
what the fuck?
I've heard it, happen during.
Well,
I
no,
mean,
that's different. Okay,
the
that's
sign of a good-
understandable.
that's the sign of a
Right,
good girl.
right,
If
yeah.
her pussy sounds like mac and cheese while you're fucking her, that's a keeper. That's A+. If it sounds like you're stirring good mac and cheese.
Jesus Christ, dude. We went from kids in this generation to macaroni pussy.
Dude, mac and cheese was on the share table that day. Come on.
That's a keeper. Her pussy sounded like mac and cheese. That's a keeper.
It sounded like share table
mac and cheese. Oh god. Oh god. That.
Dude, the load time on this.
What? Oh, that's a loading screen.
Even until like the age of like 15 or 16, me and my friends were still, playing like dumb games outside. Me and my friends invented this game, like it was around final exam time. I was in like 10th grade or
does
something.
this involve with being gay?
No, it does not involve being gay at all.
Half your friends' games are just like, let's see who's gayest.
So,
Oh, I should talk about that one game we used to play on Snapchat.
You played a
Okay.
game on Snapchat? This is a recent game.
No,
Renato.
no. Okay. Shh, all right, hey.
so let's
2
just,
years.
This should be
Okay.
a lot bigger. Hold on, let me.
What's a lot bigger?
Yeah,
Me?
watch it.
Okay, let me talk about this. What was I? Okay, so around final exams
Oh,
week,
it's like a shotgun type of deal.
games or like our class used to end it early, and so we'd always go over to Christian's house. I remember we had him on the medieval episodes. That Christian.
Oh yeah.
Him. And so he had a backyard it was weird. It was like an L shape, but it was big enough that you could sort of play like 2-on-2 basketball or something.
Yeah.
And so instead of actually we started out playing basketball, and then
And
it
then
just
we got
turned
really intimate and close, and we started realizing
Sucking each other's
we have
dick?
a lot of
No.
similarities.
No.
Dude.
Okay, so
It's 2012, whatever.
why don't we
year.
fucking do it? It's
Why don't we
2011.
suck each other off?
why don't we-
It's legal now.
Why don't we sucky dudes?
Why don't we sucky $5 dudes?
But no, we used to play this game or it devolved into just kicking a basketball at each other really hard, or throwing it at each other's legs, and of course you would land on the ball and sprain your ankle or some shit like that, or you would jam your thumb trying to stop it. And then we got one of those expandy ball things.
Hold on, the expandy ball.
Like, it's like a spiky thing, and then you open it up, and it's like a huge thing.
Yeah.
So we trapped my friend Nathan in it, and we just started pegging him with a basketball. But it was like, even up until that age, like, we were still having fun, just hurting each other outside.
Well, I mean,
That magic is gone now.
there's a good reason that the ages changes, because we're starting to realize that those are bad ideas, I guess. Like, for instance,
I wouldn't say it was a bad idea if we enjoyed it.
well, there's a lot of things you enjoy that can be really fucking terrible, dude.
I'm not talking about that. Okay, we weren't hurting anyone. Nobody was mentally scarred. There was no trauma.
Yeah, but you could have been. Well, I mean, it's the.
It's like when they banned. I heard that they banned tag on blacktops because some kid's gonna trip and scrape his knee. It's like, what?
Well,
of course he's gonna
there are
scrape and
some-
fall his knee. That's part of tag, niggas.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
understand that some of it's I'm talking about really dangerous things. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's games
Lawn
that
darts.
kids used to play a long time ago, like street chicken and shit, things
Okay,
like
that's-
that. Chicken with cars.
You can't get too hurt by
You can get hit by a fucking car.
Yeah.
But,
I'm saying you can't get too hurt kicking a basketball at each other. But yeah, you could get hurt.
Yeah, you said it yourself. You could sprain your. Did you just fall through the solid ground?
Yes, I did.
I guess the game was just like, oh no, that's not fair. He doesn't get to
Yeah,
stay up there.
I tried to see if I could.
Hit him in the
I feel like
undercheek.
fire should be super effective against him or
You'd
something.
think.
I mean,
Hey, it
he's
does
dry
something.
wood, but
What are you doing with that?
I don't know. I've realized that we've kind of wisened up. Like, for instance, as much as I hate to say it, a lot of the foods and things that I like from the 90s, they don't exist anymore because they were either extremely sugary to the point that they were causing huge problems, like Oreos. That was basically a bowl of pure sugar, and I loved it, but I can kind of understand why it was taken away. there are some things that like I feel like
Pure
was
diabetes.
too overboard, like Nestle Wonder Ball and Kinder Eggs. I feel like that was like I understand why it got taken away. It was a choking hazard, but to me,
But it doesn't seem to
food
be a
in
problem
general
anywhere
is
else.
well, that's what I'm saying. To me, food in general is kind of a choking hazard. The Kinder Egg even less so because it's literally a giant fucking
Where's the last
It's
one?
not the Kinder Egg. It's not the target itself. It's the parts on the inside.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
You know,
like,
it's a toy on the inside.
And
well,
but
no,
the thing,
but it's
my
in
thing,
a giant plastic
Yeah.
thing. So like to me, like for instance, the Wonder Ball was banned because kids would bite into the chocolate, not realizing that there was little hard candies inside, and then choke on the hard candies, which is dumb to me because chew your fucking food.
exactly, right? It's okay. Those things, or it's like, okay, now you're taking away things for kids that would be interesting for kids that like have some common sense. It's like maybe it's more a commentary on like your actual parenting skills
Well, it's
than your kid, than like safety for your kids, because it's like exactly
well, it's like
we're getting
the
less
V-chip.
intelligent now.
It's like the V-chip. Like it's just like, or not just the V-chip, but
Got
also
him.
we're in this era that like something happens and we immediately want to blame media. Like if something happens on YouTube, it's just like, oh, you're setting a bad example for our kids. And it's just like it's not their job to raise your kids. Like it's always pissed me off when there's like a YouTuber who conveys their personal opinion and they're just like, oh, you shouldn't have that opinion because kids watch you. It's just like, well, why is it suddenly his job to raise your kids?
Yeah.
That's the parent's
Yeah.
job.
Seriously.
Like,
Exactly. It's like, if you think your child is going to choke on that, don't give it to them. If they're definitely, if they're still having problems chewing their food, then they shouldn't be assembling this
it's like-
small toy by
it's like-
themselves, now, should they?
It's like the
No.
Deadpool movie when it came out. Some
Oh, yeah,
parents
they're-
they were like, "Oh my god,
They're
this
just
is
like,
so."
"My
Well, then
kid
don't bring a kid to a rated R
it's just
fucking
like,
movie.
I don't want my kid to see that. Then don't fucking bring them. No one's forcing your
It's-
kid to watch
it's
Deadpool.
rated-
It's so
it's rated
antagonistic.
R,
We live in such an
so that you
antagonistic
know.
culture because everything here is so comfortable and cushy, and it happens like that. So it's just like we're basically to the point where we're all so bored that it's like everything. Let's just antagonize everybody
Well, it's
because
not
we have
just-
literally nothing better to do.
Well, no, it's not that. It's so much as we have like a natural problem accepting responsibility. We can't really, in a world where there's so many influences, we have a hard time coping with the fact that something might be our fault. Like, at least that's what it seems like to me. We're so quick to blame things.
That's
like,
the culture. That is definitely the culture here, and that is why I had so much problems with like my senior year in high school. It was just like people wouldn't take responsibility for their shit. They were just so like entitled, and it's just like it's nowhere like that in the rest of the world because America is like the most advanced country in the world across like the board. The state of living is so much better anywhere in the country than it is in a lot of other places. It's just so cushy here, and when I was moving around, I noticed it's like it's less on the individual. There's so much less pressure on the individual outside the US. It's more about like everybody as a collective, like what can we all do? And that comes into like something might be my fault, and this whole machine isn't gonna work if a couple parts aren't
Working.
doing their best.
Oh, yeah, like a machine is only as strong as its weakest cog.
Exactly. So it's like,
Well,
yeah.
let's
whatever.
get more into that next episode of NPC.
Peace, cultists.